Hi, designers. If you've ever wanted to have 2026 be your most profitable year yet, most stable, and you wanted to invest in your business in order to make that happen, then our Black Friday sale is for you. It starts today and it goes on until midnight, December 1st. And if you've ever thought about investing in your business because you want to be more profitable, you want to be more stable, then this is the sale for you. This is hard to believe. However, the presets are $9.99. That's right, $10. They can be yours. 6 presets so you can have your website, your social media, everything curated in a way that looks beautiful and flawless for those photos we all have on our roll on our phones that are not quite right and the color's a little bit off. We've got you covered. If you want mentorship hours with me, also, there's a discount. And lastly, wait for it. If I had something techie here with a drum roll, I would use it, but I don't. $400 off the Profit Academy. That's right. So make sure you go visit the Business of Beautiful Spaces, or you can also visit the Profit Academy to get all that information. And you have until Monday at midnight, and then the deal is over. Enjoy.
Hi there, interior design lovers. Welcome back to the Business of Beautiful Spaces, the podcast where we blend design inspiration with all behind-the-scenes tips and tricks you need to thrive in your business. I'm your host, Laura Thornton, and with over 27 years in this interior design game and running a 7-figure design company, trust me, I've seen it all. I want to be your interior design bestie. I want to help you build the business of your dreams, make more money, and yes, ditch the stress along the way. I've been doing this for a long time, and now I'm sharing my knowledge with all of you, my fellow designers and decorators. All I ask in return is that you like, review, and follow this podcast wherever you listen, so other designers can find us and learn more too. So grab a coffee, get comfy, and let's dive into making 2025 your best business year yet. Today's episode is a big one. It's reflective, it's strategic, and it's one of the most important conversations that we have all year. And we're talking about our year in review. Not just what happened, but how we interpret it, how we measure it, and how we shape our businesses and our decisions moving into 2026 and beyond. So today we're going to talk about reviewing our books and knowing our numbers. I know you're rolling your eyes. Don't. It's important. And AI implementations and where you can fit it into your workflow and work it into your business. The roller coaster of tariffs this year and the market and how it's been so volatile, and highlights from this year's podcast topics and industry conversations. We're going to talk about goals versus your actual actions. We're going to talk about cutting the bleed, subscriptions, expenses, and unnecessary spending. We're going to reevaluate our mission, our core values, and our ideal client avatar. And we're going to make sure that our long-term BHAGs, the 3, 5, 10-year visions still align with who you are becoming and where your business is going, and what to expect and prepare for in 2026 as the design industry continues to stabilize post-recession and tariff uncertainty. So grab a coffee and a notebook. This is a CEO level conversation, and it's going to be a powerful one. So we're going to start off with numbers. You cannot do a year in review without reviewing your books. And let me say this clearly. Your business cannot grow if you're guessing. Going to repeat it. Your business cannot grow if you are guessing. So let's start with revenue. What did you bring in this year? From which services were you most profitable? Which clients were you most profitable? And not just the highest paying, but the best margins. Did you do all that back work to make sure you had it all up to date and figured it out? Paramount numbers. Expenses. Where we go awry as designers is that, listen, I have a marker addiction, and this is one of 3 on my desk. I am a fool for a good marker, and I will keep buying them to the point where I cleaned out this drawer behind me. If you ever watch on Instagram any of the videos, I'm always sitting at my desk at the studio, and I have a drawer. And when I cleaned it out, I found 6 more boxes of markers, brand new, tags still on them. So I spread them around the office and then put them where everyone can use them because I can't stop buying them. And these are the things that kill our profits, all these little things that I buy that I don't need. So, obviously we need to go through our operational expenses. We need to look at our software subscriptions, team and contractor spending, marketing costs, studio expenses, our travel expenses, our client entertainment, our samples, our shipping. You have to look for the bleeds. And all these reoccurring expenses that no longer serve you, tools that you don't use, subscriptions you forgot about, fees that crept up over time. And one of the most overlooked opportunities is to call your providers, your cell phone provider, your landline in your studio, which I mean, I don't even know if they call them a landline anymore. They're Wi-Fi, but you know what I mean. Anyway, all your software plans, banking, merchant, service fees, storage, warehouse rentals. You have to negotiate the prices. You got to do the due diligence of seeing if you can get some savings somewhere. And all of that's going to definitely help your bottom line. So it starts with intentional spending. So my goal for 2026 is I am not buying one marker, one colored pen. We have enough to probably do us for the next 5 years. And that is going to be hard, harder than you think. I don't know if it's like a back to school thing or like, I mean, I do love to color code things and I do use markers every day in the business. So between a highlighter and a good marker, I don't know. Like I'm still looking for the best one out there. And once I find it, I'll share it with you because I swear that should have been my forte, but I don't really think there's a big paying job for the best marker, according to Laura Thornton. Anyway, I am getting off course. Let's get back on course. So let's evaluate our systems, our tools, and possibly AI. So 2024 and 2025 have been huge years in AI in the design industry. I know we've been using it here for over 2 years at Thornton Design, and some designers embrace it and some resisted it. Some have dipped their toes, some have ran away. But here's the truth. AI is not replacing us. AI is replacing inefficient workflows, and it's a definite tool that we can all start to use to add efficiencies into our business. I always equate this to when I went to design school, here comes the age joke. AutoCAD was new, like really new. Like out of a 4-year course, we took AutoCAD starting in the second half of third year. So it was so new. Also new was email, by the way, because I remember the school I went to gave me an email address and I couldn't understand why anyone would have to go to the computer lab to get an email or a mail from anybody because it was such a foreign concept. So, this is how interesting this is now, 30 years later. AutoCAD was new. So if you can imagine learning drafting for the first 2.5 years of school, and every draftsman and draftsperson that existed and had that job in the 90s, early mid 90s, they would have obviously been feeling how we're feeling right now with what is going to happen to our job. Where is this going to go? How is IA going to affect us? And so I feel like that's the cusp of this. Now, I'm not going to lie. I don't know what happened to those people who were drafts people. I'm sure they adapted and figured it out. It wasn't instant, just like this isn't instant. But things are changing. Things are shifting and we're getting more efficient. And so I know we've been using it for over 2 years, and I've seen a massive shift in the quality of what it's producing for us as we are training our chatbots for us and our brand and our things. Now, that's a whole other podcast. So if you haven't listened to our podcast on AI, you should. And we're also going to be doing one in the new year because it also, if you haven't dipped your toes in it, it's going to walk you through how you create a chatbot and what that looks like and how that's going to benefit you. But I'm just going to put a little caveat here that make sure that if you're going to do that and you're going to be putting personal information in and business information, make sure you're purchasing a subscription and you're putting it on private. These are the things that when you are just generically using the free version, it's not learning, it's not maintaining. So you're not going to gain the beauty of what it can do for you if you start feeding it the information about you and your brand and your business and your voice and all the things that can really help AI start to produce things the way you want it to, that sound like you, that resonates with you and aligns with what you're trying to achieve. So have you started using AI? And if you have, where did it save you time? Where could AI save time if I'd implemented it better? What tasks do I still do manually that I could have automated? Am I using it ethically, creatively, in a way that enhances my sorry, someone's in my hallway making a lot of noise, due diligence, or is it something that dilutes my client experience? So, we've all seen the token social media posts now full of M dashes and emojis, and we all know that was AI created. There was a time where maybe we didn't, now we do. So does that feel disingenuous to you? Is that something that you want to represent your company? Is it something where you're producing items to give to your clients, but now it doesn't sound like you anymore. It sounds like it was produced by AI. So make sure that you're not diluting your client experience. But think about how you can use AI for client communication templates, procurement tracking, mood board generation, blog drafts, social media planning, onboarding workflows, email responses, proposal writing. AI should not replace your design brain, but it should definitely support it. And if you're burnt out, exhausted, or doing too many admin tasks, I guarantee you your profitability is suffering, which means you might be able to give some of this up to an AI, even just to help you get things done faster. So let's move on to the roller coasters of the tariffs and the market uncertainty, which has been a real roller coaster for a lot of us this year, right from third week of January for me, when my whole world turned upside down at Thornton Design with tariff talks. We went from being booked out for 18 months to losing every single client we had for our renovation side of our business, all because people were worried about what it was going to cost. The tariff talks were wild, and they still are, and nothing has happened. And now we're into December. So almost a whole year, and none of it was for any of it other than it hurt a lot of our businesses. So the tariff talks really hit it's going to in 2026. It's affecting our product availability already. I'm not sure if anyone else is feeling it, but a lot of our vendors are not bringing in any products because they're worried if they do, then they're going to be tariffed and they're not going to have their money on, or they're going to be all tied up in tariffs, and then they're not happening. So from what I'm hearing from our vendors is they are not stocking. So fabrics are going to start becoming an issue for us. Hardwood flooring is going to start becoming an issue for us. So they're not producing until they know they have sold the whole roll, is what I'm hearing. Don't hold me to it. This is what I've been told by my vendors. And they're worried about the pricing. So anyway, this is the things we get to worry about. So let's hope there is a little bit more stability in 2026. But we need to be diligent on adjusting our fees, repricing our proposals. You have to make sure that you've got some dates on there and that your contract says how long that is good for. I've been putting it's almost back to COVID, where I had to start putting on every page that this quote is only good for 14 days. And after 30 days, I have to charge you a recap fee to go back and redo all the numbers again. So it kind of feels a little deja vu-ish from 5-6 years ago, but we have to make sure that we're able to absorb unexpected costs if there's going to be delays, installs, or any respecifying a product. And we have to be able to financially buffer 2026 in case this keeps going. So we use it as a tool to improve our proposal clauses without being able to adjust for the pricing fluctuation. So that is something that we started doing a few months ago, and we're going to keep going into 2026 with that. Just riding out this roller coaster until hopefully it settles down a bit. But you can use it to tighten up your profit margin so that you're not absorbing supplier instability. And one of the biggest mistakes designers are making, including people I know, and we've talked about it with me and my friends, is assuming that the volatility is temporary. Let's hope that it is, but we're already a year in. So we might have to ride this out for, 3 more years. But smart business owners will plan for that uncertainty. So make sure that you're pricing properly to be able to ride this roller coaster out. Okay, so I'm going to review this past year's podcast themes, and I'm going to tell you also which ones are the most popular and why I think that's so. Okay, so our top episode this year is talking about the trends that were shaping 2025, and that was followed up with our very first year, so over 3 years ago, let's talk elevating your client presentation package. It's still one of our top 5 for the year, and I'm going to actually be revamping that one in the new year. So you have that to look forward to. Not that much has changed, but there's been some tweaking. So I'm going to revamp that one. The other one is, believe it or not, my very first episode, which I'm afraid to go back and listen to. I had no idea what I was doing. It's Let's Talk Vendor Relations. So that is our number 3 this year. And it's my very first episode 1. And obviously, that hasn't changed. I still, 3 years later, I still have fabulous vendor relations, and I still work towards those every year. And I think there's a lot of value in making sure that you are having very active relationships with your vendors and not just an email relationship. And the fourth one is let's talk about presenting your interior design quotes to clients. So I'm not sure if you're seeing the trend here, but I'm seeing it. It's you really love information about how to present to your clients and what should be working in your business. And you do prefer in my opinion, the ones where it's just me telling you stuff that I do that maybe might help you. Because the last one is how to carve out your niche in a competitive interior to the industry. So all of these are podcasts that were solos, not with guests. So if that's something you're enjoying, I would love your feedback on that, because it really helps me skew and gear and plan for the upcoming year about what you want to see. I know that we are planned out right now until April, but if you have suggestions of things that you would love to see for 2026, I am happy to review them and try and get those and work those in so that you can hear them. But I know we've got some great things to look forward to in the new year. What I'm very excited about is cybersecurity, because we were hit here about 3 weeks ago with a cybersecurity breach, and it rocked our world for over a week and a half. We lost work. We were inundated with security teams, cybersecurity teams. We didn't get any work done for days. I'm going to go into all of that. And the saddest part of this was I had just gone to a seminar about cyber security insurance, and I had it on my list of things to do. And of course, didn't get it done because we're in the busiest season. And right now it's December when I'm recording this for you, but this happened a couple of weeks ago, and we were in the throes of getting everything ready for the holiday season here for our clients. And luckily, I was able to find some files that shouldn't have been in there, and we were able to figure out that someone had been into our system. So I'm going to go through all of that with you and explain it all to you, but it can be super debilitating for any size business. But just need to know for right now, do your due diligence, change your passwords all the time, because they are targeting small businesses. So not to put the fear in you, but I will go into a lot more detail on that. So that's one that I'm really looking forward to talking about. We're also going to talk about how to protect your calendar and boundaries. We're going to talk about how to integrate AI into your business way more further than what we just talked about. We're going to talk about how to price your services correctly without raising costs, and tackling common challenges to do that. So we have some really great things lined up for the first quarter, but would love your input on the rest. So make sure you forward that, and I will be happy to add anything that you would like to learn or know about onto the year podcast year. Okay, again, I'm derailed. Okay, so let's skip on to goals versus actions. Are you actually aligned? Because this is a big one. Do your actions match the results you say that you want? Because you cannot say, I want to make more money, but then never review your spending and never track your time and never raise your prices and never nurture high value clients, never update your processes, never say no to misaligned projects, never invest in education and furthering your education on your business. You cannot say you want boundaries and then answer a text at 10 p.m. You can't say you want more freedom, but then refuse to delegate. Your year in review must include behavior auditing. Ask yourself, what did I say I wanted? What did I actually do? What needs to change in 2026? And is this where real growth begins? And the answer is yes. So that's a big one. Make sure you write that down and spend some time on that one, because your goals versus your actions is something where we actually need to like really review how it is that we are, what we're doing, not just numbers. It's actually us, self-awareness. So we're going to review and update our mission statement, our core value statement, and our ideal client avatar. As your business evolves, you evolve, and your ideal client evolves, and your long-term vision also evolves. So if you haven't reviewed your mission statement in a few years, it could be outdated. So make sure you review your mission statement. Does it still reflect the work you passionately want to do, the clients that you want to serve, and the transformation that you want to create? Secondly, I want you to review your core values. Values are guide decisions, so especially hard ones. So when I am trying to figure out something and something doesn't feel right in my gut, I'm a big listen to your gut kind of gal. So if it's not like, if I'm playing around with my head and my gut's saying one thing, and I'm like, okay, hang on, let's break this down real easy. Mission, core values, and ideal client avatar. But mostly, is this my core values, or is that why my stomach's upset when I can't make this decision because it's not aligning with the values that are important to me? And that usually is the answer right there. I'll know right away. So values are something that you can take a look at and make sure that if it needs to be revised, or that your behavior needs to be realigned, that's something that you look at. Review your ideal client avatar. So the market has shifted, and your skill set has grown, and your confidence has expanded, and your pricing might not have increased. Maybe it has, but ask yourself, Are the clients I attract the ones I want to work with? Do I need to elevate my messaging? Are my values aligned with the clients I want? And have my service offerings outgrown my old avatar? Or do I need to tweak my avatar? As I've gotten older, my clients have gotten older with me. So my avatar from 15 years ago was very different than it is now. Doesn't mean that, they are literally the same people, but it's something where, that has changed. So when I actually have it narrowed down to an age demographic, that has changed. So it's changed along with me. Doesn't mean that their income hasn't changed slightly. Of course it has. If they've grown, hopefully their income has, but where they hang out, what they do, what's important to them. But they may not have young kids anymore. Like I don't do a lot of houses with young kids because my clients have grown along with me. And so now they have grandkids or they would have, so that avatar can shift as you keep evolving in your business, that can shift. So you make sure that you're keeping that up to date. Also, that's going to reflect where your marketing is going and how you are trying to market yourself to your ideal client. And if you haven't updated your client in a few years, you could be marketing yourself to the wrong people. So also review your BHAGs, your big, hairy, audacious goals, your 3-year goal, your 5-year goal, your 10-year goal. Do they still excite you? Have you been playing smaller because this year was hard? I want you to dream big again. I want you to write them all down. And I want you to reverse engineer the actions required to get you there, meaning your salary, meaning the projects, how many you have to do. Reverse engineer to get to your big, hairy, audacious goals. So preparing for 2026, what we can expect. As we look ahead, let's hope that the market is stabilizing. It seems that it's slowly, people are fed up of hearing about nonsense that doesn't happen and that they are just moving forward with life. So fantastic. Clients are becoming more cautious, not unwilling, but this means that messaging needs to be clear and confident building for your skill set. Obviously, tariffs will continue to impact pricing and availability of product. So build flexibility and margins into your proposals and make sure everything's dated. Clients expect speed, transparency, and digital coordination. So your systems are more important than ever. Clients then also, will be probably able to pick. This is the one thing that's good and bad about the situation we're in this year. Everybody used to have a wait, right? You would have a wait 18 months for renovations, whatever the case may be. Well, now that the market is softer, people are able to have the best of the best sooner. And it doesn't mean they're more expensive. It just means that they can have them because they're not booked out so much further ahead than they used to be, and people didn't want to wait. So this is now where they will also expect the speed. So, it's great for our clients that can have real quality work without having to pay more for it. I think that there are no deals to be had. No one should be asking you for a cheaper price point because the market is a little soft. That's not a thing. Nor should you be even considering doing that. That's not a thing. There are still the people that want to spend. So these are the things that, if you're a designer who is niche and in a position that you will clearly rise over the noise, and unclear brands are going to struggle. Anyway, education and community will matter more. So design can be isolating. We all know that. You have to surround yourself with people who are growing along with you. I think that's super important to be part of a design community. If you can get one nearby, or even a Zoom community or your local chapter of interior design associations of some kind. This way that you have other people around you giving you advice or helping you navigate through it. And then it's all about strategic rebuilding with smarter, leaner, and more resilient operations. I am always a big advocate for educating for yourself and furthering your business. I know here we have people that in January are taking the CAP, so we are going to be more focused on aging in place. So we're getting all the certifications for that. Educating yourself all the way through is so important, and it keeps you current, and you can use all of that on your website and your social media, and it gives you an authoritative step ahead of anybody else in the industry around you who's not doing that. Okay, closing thoughts. As you wrap up your year in review, I want you to remember this. You are not the same designer you were last January. You have learned, you have stretched, you have pivoted, you have survived uncertainty, you have delivered beauty into the world when the world was desperately needing beauty. And year review is not about judgment. This is about clarity, and clarity creates confidence. Confidence creates profitability, and profitability creates longevity. And I really can't stress enough that it's not just about profitability this year. It's also about creating wealth. I want you to create wealth for your business, which then will create wealth for you. It's not just to replace the salary. It's not just to say I made 6 figures this year. And what I need you to learn to put money into the bank for the business, and that it stays there and creates wealth for you, that you can do other things with it. So that's another thing we're going to be diving into this year in 2026 on the podcast. It's not just profitability, just to say you have a 7-figure business or a 6-figure business. It is to create wealth for your future. Okay, so if you like this episode, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a 5-star rating anywhere you listen to this podcast, or any rating that you think this is worth. I would really appreciate that. Our goal next year is to reach more people. Our goal next year is to hopefully help more designers and decorators and stagers and people who listen to this podcast, so that they can gain this knowledge that we're sharing. And if you are a long-time listener and you would be so kind as to leave us a review, I would be so happy and so grateful for that. That would be a nice little special holiday gift to me. Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for spending another year with me on this podcast. Thank you for being committed to your growth and to your craft and to your profitability. And thank you for being part of the Business of Beautiful Spaces podcast for interior designers community. Bye for now.